For the Fall Extravaganza. So it is just me, Amy E. Reichert, and Heather Webb here today, and we are going to be talking all things of our favorite fall things. So that kind of rhymed. I didn't mean to do that. And we'll see how long my scarf lasts, because despite talking fall, it is still pretty warm here, and I imagine I'm going to get pretty hot soon.
We had a warm day today too. It was mid 70s. I think we have 80 tomorrow, but it's been like 40 at night, so or 50.
Yeah.
Late 40s, early 50s. Yeah, so it's been nice and crisp.
Good sleeping weather. It's my favorite time. I have all the windows open, and then my dog either loves it or hates it because she spends all night like sitting vigilant at the windows, making sure we aren't attacked by things. So yeah, it's a good time.
And hi, everybody. See you guys all popping in.
Yes, we love it, which is really important. Do we want to mention why that's really important?
Yes, we do. Let's start with that before I do Poppy News.
Yes.
So we're going to do a giveaway, you guys. We figured we love fall. It's our favorite. We were on Alone tonight together, which is very fun for us for a change.
Yes.
And so why not a giveaway? So I have a signed hardcover copy of 3 Words for Goodbye. And then I also have so
pretty
an advanced copy of The Next Year Poem that doesn't release until February 8th. So this is contraband right here. Get it while you can. And then Amy, you have something else to add to the giveaway.
I do. I have 2 books as well. I have the very fall, The Simplicity of Cider. So this is one of my older books, and it is all about an apple orchard and cider making, and I just love it so very much. And then I will be giving also away a copy of the Kindred Spirit Supper Club, which, even though it has been kind of a summer read, is still very fallish because there is a fall ball in there. I think they call it the gala. It's been a while. That's what happens when you write a book. You forget what it's forget the details.
And working on the next one.
I'm working on the next one. I'm thinking about the next one. So it does have a fall gala, and there's, of course, the lovely Molly, Ghost Molly. So very fallish here. So I'll be giving away.
Sorry, I had to interrupt you because that was a lovely comment.
So yes, and to win, what do they need to do to win one of these?
Leave a comment.
This book package.
They're here with us, watching the show. Leave a comment, and we're going to pick one winner for all 4 books. So. We're going to keep it nice and simple, and we'll sign them all and send them your way.
Mm-hmm. I may even throw in some extra things. We'll see. We'll see if I can sneak that away with media mail.
Oh, Trisha, your birthday's February 8th, so you are an Aquarius.
What?
Right? I know these things. I'm sorry. I know these things. My daughter's birthday's the 9th, so yeah.
I must have missed why you're talking about her horoscope sign.
Because her birthday's February 8th. And that's the release date for my Ellis Island.
Oh, got it. I'm with you now.
You guys are talkative tonight too. I'm loving it. Marissa says, I want the next. Oh, very nice. Yeah. Well, there will be hardcover copies of those available, which is exciting. So
that is exciting.
All right. Shall we do Poppy News?
We should do Poppy News.
So, Poppy News. Julie Cantrell has a book coming out. We don't have the cover ready, do we?
Oh, no. Do we have other news? And I'll go get it.
Sure. Yes. Okay.
Right.
So the other news is Her Perfect Life by Hank Phillippe Ryan is out today. If you guys have been on in the last week and a half, or Great Thoughts, Great Reads, and the first chapter fun, she's been sharing little snippets about the book, and we're excited about that.
Yes.
Hank and I are actually going to teach together. We're going to teach a suspense, a mystery thriller writing class for the MFA program at Drexel University in the spring. So that's been super fun. We've been plotting that behind the scenes. So anyway, I'm very excited about this new book of hers. And then Amy is frantically trying to get that cover.
I am.
But we can do this later. We can put a link.
I just have to get it loaded up.
You got it. Okay, so Julie Cantrell has a Christmas book coming out October 12th. And for whatever reason, we had failed to share the cover. But voila!
I got it!
Meet
Isn't that adorable? It's so cute. So yeah, this is coming out October 12th, and it is a bunch of short stories written by different authors, and they're all inspired by classic Christmas movies. So I think that sounds really fun. And then I also have, because it is the launch day for Hank, I do have the cover of her book as well.
Yeah.
Perfect Life.
All right.
And some fun little quotes about people who loved it, because who doesn't love Hank's books?
I know. She's a darling of the awards as well.
She is. Yeah. And I do think it's important to note that every week we ask our fellow Tall Puppies for any news. And the last 2 weeks, Anne Garvin has piped in and let us know that she's still tired. So
you really announced that. She said she was going to announce that, and I didn't believe her. No.
So for all of you who know Anne, she is still tired. Please send her your love.
She's been moving your daughter to London, right? Is that?
Yes. Yeah. She has had a hell of a year, but that is a different podcast.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Hank on her launch. And Julie, we're very excited about this upcoming Christmas book. We have a couple poppies with Christmas books this year. So very exciting.
Anne's tired in London now. Is that you, Anne? Can't be Anne, is it?
Maybe.
So fall stuff. We have recipes we're going to share.
Yes.
We have some fall reads.
Yes.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the fall equinox and any other goodness.
Yes. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things for fall too. Do we want to talk drinks first since we're slurping them?
Sure. Let's do that.
All right. What are you drinking?
Okay, so I wanted to do something new that is fall inspired. So I went on a fall hunt. And are you pulling up the picture? Will you do that since I'm chatting here?
This one?
And it is a ginger and pear bourbon splash. So it's delicious. It's pear nectar and bourbon, and then you make a honey simple syrup with a little bit of ginger in it. You shake it so it's gingery. And then you add lemon juice, and you can top it with ginger ale if you like, just to, cut too much of the alcohol. You can make it probably without alcohol, and it would still be delicious because it's ginger and lemon and pear. So yeah, and it's very good. Mine's not as pretty. I've got floating pears in there.
You went up again.
That's much prettier. But hey, it does. It's very tasty. That's my fall drink. What do you got going on, Amy?
It should come as a surprise to no one that I am drinking cider because I love cider. And I always get a lot of questions about it, especially when I do in-person events, about what ciders do I like. And my first tip of advice is to always find something local. There are great, if you can find a local cider, that's always your best bet. If you don't have any local cideries because, you're in Florida, they probably don't have a lot of local ciders there. I think Stella Artois Cidra is pretty good. And then Strongbow used to be good, but now they Americanized it and it's kind of sweet and a little, anyway. So what I'm drinking, I went a little sideways there, is a local cider. It's made in Door County by Island Orchard. And this is an apple ginger, which is something I don't normally, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to adding flavors into my ciders. Don't give me an apple strawberry or an apple pineapple. That's unacceptable to me. But ginger is a little different because it's more of a flavor. It's a spice.
It's a kick.
So it's really nice. Island Orchard makes really dry ciders. They're European in nature, made from heritage apples. So really, this is a very ginger forward drink. It's kind of, if you imagine champagne with the ginger kick to it.
We both went gingery today.
We did. It's a good fall flavor.
It is. We love the spice. I definitely like the spice.
And I also love their bottles because it comes with these fun tops. But that makes it hard for me to throw them away because I feel like I should save them for something else, and then I never know what to do with them.
And then what is the thing you save them for?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, that's the good of recycling them, right? Can you bring them back to the store and they'll take them, or?
I bet if I lived in Door County, I could bring them to the cidery. But I just recycle them with my normal recyclables.
That works.
Yeah, that's what we do there.
How are you hanging with that scarf?
I'm doing okay so far. I do have
Not too hot. Okay. So cheers.
So cheers. Cheers to everybody. Cheers, blooms.
I always save the bottles too, Sharon says.
I know.
They're pretty. They're fun.
They are pretty. And I've been to restaurants where they have bottles like that where they bring the water out. And I thought that was always kind of fun. And if I did more entertaining, it might be fun to have like 4 or 5 of those bottles to put. But
totally.
I don't do, things are really busy with kids. I think once the kids are gone, I'll entertain more.
I hear you.
Huge one for coins. That's
and Trisha, yeah, I like this idea. That's cool.
That is a good idea.
Makes good use of it.
Yeah.
Did you hear there's a coin shortage? There's a coin shortage. What? There's a shortage of the weirdest stuff right now. I think.
There is. Everything's short. And people are really, like, I know people who are doing construction projects and they can't get the materials they need. And I get that. That's super frustrating.
We're building right now.
Yes.
We haven't had trouble finding anything yet, but we've been sort of planning ahead. So when we know we need to order, we're ordering months ahead of time. So everything has been getting there. But yeah.
But everybody is short-staffed. So be nice to your customer service people. Yeah, they are just doing the best they can. And tip your waiters and waitresses and your bartenders. Because every place I go, because I used to wait tables and I used to bartend. So I can walk into a restaurant and know, oh, well, this place should have like 3 staff people. And they'll have 1 for a whole giant section.
I know, it's rough. Is it Leisha? I love your name. I just want to make sure I say it right. So yes, wood has gone up tremendously. In fact, it was outrageous until May. It dropped 40%. Still really high, but it's doing the downward trend. So I'm grateful for that. We're kind of just building a little bit at a time, like just buying a little at a time. And then once we've used it, buy the next pallet so that we're trying, getting the best price, trying to be canny. So Licha. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. What else? I know you have another recipe because we were oohing and ahhing over it. What's another small goodie?
Let's do the yummy one first.
Okay.
So I am a huge fan of everything America's Test Kitchen, Cooks Illustrated, Cooks Country. 90% of my recipes come from one of those families.
I've literally never ever cooked from any one of those. So I'm excited about this.
So here's Cooks. I mean, Cooks Illustrated kind of has these covers. And one of these little magazines only has like 20 recipes in it because they don't just tell you the recipe. They tell you all of the reasons that it's this way and why this is the best version. So this particular recipe is for really good pumpkin bread. I will post the link to it in the comments after the show. I have it sitting up there, but this is what it looks like.
Yum. Is that like a strudel?
It is like a crumb top. It's brown sugar and butter and flour on the top. What I love about this recipe is not only is it absolutely scrumptiously delicious, but it makes 2 loaves. So it's 1 can of pumpkin. It has 2 loaves. It has this yummy little crusty top. And whenever I make quick breads, you know how they always tell you to put flour on the greased pan to help it release better? I don't put flour. I put cinnamon sugar. So you get this really yummy, like kind of crusty coating on all the sides. And
I love that idea. I've never done that.
Yeah.
Because the flour too, it gives it a little bit of a dry, pasty flavor. I usually just do a whole ton of butter instead.
Yeah.
But that can be a little greasy. So I love that idea.
Yeah, but on something where cinnamon would be a complementary flavor, I just think that's a really simple. That's my little hack.
Are you emphatically anti-nuts in your bread or pro-nuts?
I am anti-nuts. This is supposed to have a cup of walnuts in it. Walnuts of all the nuts is my least favorite. Sometimes will put in almonds. I don't mind like almond slivers or almond slices as much, but I think I have a mild nut allergy, and so certain things will kind of make my mouth a little itchy. So I just avoid them.
Okay, well that makes sense. I like to put them. I love nuts in baked goods, but if you cook them in it, they can almost get like a chewy texture, and so I pat them into the dough on the top. And then they get toasted, like roasted nuts, and they're crispy and it's delicious. So you still get the nuts, but they're not chewy gross. But you don't eat nuts anyway. So
I don't. But, in this particular case, you could easily mix it into the little crumb topping.
Yeah.
And that would be the perfect place for it.
Yeah. I would totally do that too.
Yeah. So it's super yummy. So what is your yummy goodness recipe?
So you guys, I made something super basic because I'm going on a writing retreat next week, and I am one of those moms who are wives, I should say, who makes a schedule, and I do every single day that I'm gone. And under each day, I'm like, pack their lunches, ask about homework, so-and-so needs a shower. The meal is meatloaf or whatever it is, because my husband, God love him, I'll come home 4 days later, no one is showered.
Yeah.
For 4 days or brush their teeth. And I'm like, what did you guys eat? And when my son, who is a carbaholic, says, Mom, I'm so glad we're not having pasta again tonight. So now I make as much as and I like to make it easier for him because he's working too. So I try to do as much as possible before I leave town. And so I made them cookies, and I made them a fall favorite, which is, oh, there they are. And that's my actual picture. Aren't they beautiful? I just made them beautiful. They're snickerdoodles, which I always find the title kind of weird because we have Snickers and they're not Snickers at all. But they've got that cream of tartar gives it a little twang that I love. And then you roll them in cinnamon and sugar, and they're basic, delicious sugar cookies, but
they're so good.
They do not last in my house.
I have an eggnog snickerdoodle recipe for Christmas that I'll make every few years.
That sounds good.
And then I'm the only one who ever eats them. So.
And Sharon says I'm way too organized.
You are.
Sort of. I'm organized chaos. I know that sounds really organized, but so I'm going with 5 writer friends. Don't worry, we're all vaccinated. We're all doing tests, et cetera, et cetera. But we're renting an Airbnb on the beach, and we're going to work the whole week, but we're hanging out together, and I'm so excited to not be home. And so I feel mom guilt, like I have to make sure everybody's set up for me to be able to disconnect and work. So it's organization, but it's really like being organized so that I can do what I want to do.
Yes. So you need to move to the next level where you don't do that anymore. I used to do that, and then I realized my husband goes away all the time, and he never does this stuff.
My husband does not, and he's not organized at all. And the other thing is, soon enough they'll be old enough, and I'm not doing jack all.
Yeah, your kids are younger than my kids because they'll end up like eating out, and they always say they have the best time when I'm gone because they get to do fun stuff with Dad. Yeah. Whereas for me, when he goes away, it's just life is normal.
Thank you, Lecha. They came out so good. I was kind of cramming them in, and then I had to walk away and Ziploc bag a whole bunch of them. I put them in the freezer, and then there's a whole bunch in a tin, so that should last.
So good. Yummy.
Oh, oatmeal raisin. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, currants. That's interesting. So I don't see currants very often. What's that?
I'm with you on the oatmeal part. I love oatmeal, but I'm just raisin and pecan and no.
Can't do it? Oh, I'm bring all that in there. Love it all. And currants, I'm wondering, like, I don't ever see those on the market much. Do you?
I see currants around here.
Do you?
Especially going into the holidays where people will put them in their fruitcake.
Okay. Do people still make fruitcakes? I know they do in
England. Every year. I'm sure she's watching. Hi, Mom.
Really? Oh.
She does. She makes them the month in advance. My sister-in-law really likes fruitcake. Like, I think fruitcake is one of those things you either love it or you just want nothing to do with it.
I like it okay, as long as it's, the packaged stuff tastes like corn syrup. I think it is covered in corn syrup, and it's chewy.
Yeah.
I've had it one time where somebody made it homemade and it was actually pretty good. But yeah, if you're not digging the raisins and all that, no, it's not for you.
No, thank you. That's okay.
My daughter's very organized. She makes lists. Yeah, see, now I don't do lists for everything, but when I do go out of town, that's kind of a whole other story. Well, good for her.
Yes.
She needs to come over and organize my house and make lists for me.
I would like that very much. Thank you. All right. Do we want to talk books or do we want to talk one last recipe?
Let's do your last recipe, then we'll move on to books.
Okay. So this one is more of a comfort dish. I actually made it for the first time this week and loved it. And so it's now one of my favorite going into fall. So to set this up, I am part of a CSA, one of those farm shares. And it's great because I get vegetables I wouldn't normally buy, like eggplants. I know that's something people are really used to, but it wasn't something that we ate growing up. So this is in Chrissy Teigen's Cravings Cookbook, which is a really fabulous cookbook. This woman knows flavor. And it's baked pasta alla Norma, which is basically ziti with a lot of mozzarella cheese and eggplant. And you take your eggplant and you cook it for like 20 minutes in olive oil, and you mix it with 1.5 pounds of fresh mozzarella and ricotta cheese. And oh my God, is it good?
Hard to go wrong with that stuff.
No, it's got like 6 pounds of vegetables in it. So even though you also have like 3 pounds of cheese, you have a lot of vegetables in there. So I don't feel too terrible about eating it. It's perfect if you had a crowd, and like if you're not an eggplant person, it just sort of melts right into the sauce. It's amazing. So good.
I'm gonna have to check out that cookbook. In fact, I was just going through my cabinet a couple days ago, and I love cookbooks, and I haven't had any new ones in a long time, and I want some really beautiful, new, interesting cookbooks. So,
I've made a few things from here so far. You can see how many things I have to make. Because I read cookbooks, like I get a new cookbook, and then I just read it like
a novel.
Yes. And she has amazing, like she reminds me a little bit of, oh my God, who's the British cook? Beautiful, dark hair.
Nigella?
Yes. She writes lovely like intros to the recipes too that I love to read that are kind of fun. And Christy does that as well, but with more swearing.
Someone gave me the Downton Abbey cookbook, and that was really fun because it has just little pieces of etiquette. It tells you like what the dinner etiquette is. And then, I mean, some of the recipes I've made are good and some are really not good, but just the book itself was so fun, you know, with all the little extras that I didn't care.
Oh, I love that. All right. So what's your yummy?
Okay. No, that's it. I just did cookies, and I did make a chicken stew, but I didn't take a picture or anything. So let's move on, girl.
Right.
So fall reads.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start because I read this book a couple of years ago, and I reread it because I keep thinking about it. Carol Goodman. I don't think she actually writes a lot of kind of gothic stuff.
Right.
From what I understand from the things I've looked up, but The Widow's House, it's spooky. There was a murder at some point in the past, and there are ghosts, and it's a horror-ish kind of, although I'm a big chicken. I don't like horror. This has just the right amount of it to keep me going and not, you know, I did sleep at night. So that's a great like Halloween fall read. And then this is actually still the ARC, but I absolutely adored this book. The Spell Book of Katrina Van Tassel by Alyssa Palumbo.
Yes.
And it's a retelling of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Ooh.
And, you know, it's from the woman's point of view. And, you know, you get all that yummy scene setting. And there's a bit of a love story mixed in. And
love it.
It's historical. It's creepy. It's excellent. And my last one, actually I have two more, sorry. The Lost History of Dreams we've talked about before, another gothic. Yes. If you haven't read Chris Walder, this is her first gothic. She's done lots of other writings and illustrations for children back in the day, but now she's turned to fiction, and she also designed a tarot deck. Like, she's super cool. She was one of our guests a while back. But anyway, this is a great, but like English Moors, moody, very Bronte-esque excellent for fall.
Love it.
Read, and I'll stop there.
All right. So my first one is We Ride Upon Sticks. I've actually mentioned this. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this one on our show before.
Not when I was here. Maybe when I wasn't here. Yeah.
Maybe by Quanberry. So it doesn't. It's a high school field hockey team, but it's set in Salem, and they even have a fabulous map.
Oh, fun! I love when they do that. The extras are so great in a book.
They're so great. But what makes this, because it's set in Salem, I feel like it gave it permission to have this element where you're like, is it just sort of that heightened high school girl craziness, or is it something more? Is it something witchy and supernatural? But it really rides that line. But it is so fabulous about teams and friendship, and it just feels like you can smell the crisp leaves in the air. And it's a fun book, and beautifully written, and I highly recommend it. It's just a hoot, and it gets just crazy.
Salem in the fall is amazing too. It's really beautiful, and it's very atmospheric, and all the history. And
I was there when it was 100 degrees, and it was not as much fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were there just recently, weren't you?
Yes, but I can see how much fun it would be in the fall. I feel like this is just a no-brainer. Sarah Addison Allen. I would actually hold up Garden Spells if I had it, but First Frost is the sequel to Garden Spells. You can still have the price tag still on it.
I've never read her, but I sort of lust after that cover.
You need to read Garden Spells, and then you need to read First Frost, because it's family of women, and they have this ability. They have like a magical apple tree, and they have kind of a gift for helping people. Very, very, yes. Garden Spells is amazing. So one of those authors that immediately brings to mind fall, to me, is Rainbow Rowell.
Really?
Most of her books are set in the fall. Maybe it's because I followed her so long on social media that I know that fall is her favorite season, and she super loves fall, and that's why most of her books kind of take place in fall. But she actually had a fall graphic novel called Pumpkinheads, which is so adorable and cute. I mean, it's young adult and up. Super charming and adorable, and I love it so much. And it has all of the kind of nerdiness and swooniness of a Rainbow Rowell story. And I really, really love Pumpkin.
I do love her young adult novels.
Yes.
Her voice is so brilliant. She's so good. Oh, that's got a map too.
Got a map too.
Love it.
And then this book, I know I mentioned, I just have two more, but I'm just going to show the covers because they're well known. The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Come on, it's set in a college. Duh. And then Discovery of Witches, which
is a classic. Totally great. And since you're going to do one, I'll do one more. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I shared this last year because I loved this book. It's, again, moody, gothic-y.
Yes.
It's like there's a time travel-ish element to it. There's a murder mystery that keeps happening over and over again. So it's a little bit like Groundhog's Day. It's fascinating. It's such a fascinating read. And actually, Amy, you really need to read it. I think you would dig it. You like when there's a little bit of something going on, and this definitely has that.
I do like. Yes,
a little magic, a little. So,
I love
right.
That. So now I have more books to read.
always.
That's what I need.
I have to talk about a little ritual thing that I do for the fall equinox.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I was raised Catholic, but I kind of have migrated more into very much an earth-loving person. And so I like to sort of, and I read tarot and these things. And I like to do not an altar because that sounds worshipy, but more like a beautiful table or a lovely cloth with different kinds of candles. I like to do fall colored candles. And it's the equinox, is all about balance because it's the equal amount of daylight and night in the Western Hemisphere. And the festival that a lot of people celebrate is called Mabon or Maybone, or it just depends on what your accent is. But it's all about harvest, giving thanks for the harvest, things that have come to fruition, and finding balance in the world. And I love that. I think it's a beautiful message. It's kind of like our Thanksgiving, and it makes you think, probably that festival came as a result of equinox. So so next week, now I'm out of town next week. So this weekend, actually, with my kids, I'm going to do my beautiful little cloth, and you put apples out and you put vegetables from the harvest, all that stuff on the table, and talk about what you're thankful for. Yeah.
I love that. That's so fun. You'll have to send pictures or post pictures.
Totally will.
So I do not have an equinox tradition, but I feel like with my fall tradition, actually with the turning of every seasons, I make my quarterly visit to Bath and Body Works. And I buy my seasonal scents.
What's your seasonal scent?
So this year, my favorite smell fall scent is the sweet pumpkin spice, or sweet cinnamon pumpkin. It is, so it's got a really like nice cinnamony that gets up in your nose that I just love. So that I get that the little.
Did you just kiss it?
No, it just made a weird little noise when I put the thingy back on. But oh my God, it smells so good. You just want to eat it. It is so good. They also have a cinnamon spice that's even more cinnamony that I really quite like. But I get the little wall fragrances, and I get a couple candles, and then that'll tide me over until I get my evergreen scents for Christmas.
So I've actually talked about this company before, but tis the time of year. Which city? I'm talking about Salem so much today for some reason, but which city wicks, and they make all soy candles. And they put them in these beautiful black jars. Mm-hmm. And this is one that's clove, and it's and they just put out Halloween. They do a Halloween scented bundle every year, and I just ordered Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Bat, like Black Bat, I think it's called. I'm wondering what that's going to be like. That's and a few others, but anyway, yeah. So I'm waiting on my shipment. I ordered them last week. I'm always, when I'm working in my office, I always have a candle going. Like the atmosphere you're building, right? Like make it cozy. And
yes, and I think it probably informs my writing in some way. At least I pretend it does. Yes, Marissa, you're correct. You're absolutely right. Book Sense is a candle making company. She makes book themed candles. She's actually has 2 candles that have been inspired by my books. She's got Lou, which might be currently discontinued, and then Sana, which is an apple-based one, which is really a fantastic fall candle. But they're also soy-based. And then she, of course, has the Bloom candle.
That one smells great.
It does. It's got a nice floral base to it. Her scents are A+++. They're really good. The candles last a long time. They're super high quality.
We'll have to put that link in the comments later.
I will have to do that.
And lady, I can't believe it. Well, I should believe it because we talk 100 miles an hour anyway, but we're out of time.
I know. I'm taking this off. I made it this far.
Good job. Thank you guys so much for chatting with us and listening to us ramble about our favorite season.
And we will make sure, are we picking, can people still comment after the show?
Absolutely. You can comment after the show. We will pick a winner by next week's show on Tuesday.
Yes.
And those are the giveaway items. And we have Carrie Schaefer / Carrie Ann King, for those of you who read women's fiction. She writes actually magical realism in her fiction, and it's fantastic. She's going to be with us next week.
Can't wait.
So thank you guys so much for coming, for being with us.
You.
We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.